Good. Uh, how you doing, everybody? I just want to say thank you guys for continue to listen to us, and I just want to hope everyone had a great Easter with their family. We definitely want to just take a week off that time, just obviously spend our time and prioritize our time with our family, which kind of brings us into our episode today of prioritizing our time and making time for one another, which is something that I feel is something that I have a lot of friends that reach out to me about, and I'm like, buddy, I'm still learning.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, I don't know, do you think we're good at it?
I think we're definitely, we don't suck at it. I think we definitely, well, I'll put it to you like this. I think that we do a great job in articulating to one another and communicating to one another that, hey, I need some attention, or hey, we haven't done anything. It's we're both kind of really, really cognizant of it. So that is something that I feel is great about us. And then at least we make those decisions to be yeah, hey, for instance, today, we're going away for the night.
Yeah.
Just a night, just because we haven't, when was the last time we ever did anything alone?
We haven't been away alone since we went to Denver, but that was for CDS. It was kind of for work. I mean, granted that we kind of make it our yearly vacation that we do away from the kids, but even going out to dinner, I couldn't. The last time you and I just went,
I think it was our Whole Foods date.
That doesn't count.
I think it counts. I thought it was that little gesture of just that, us eating Whole Foods sushi in the car.
And definitely pizza, but
yeah, that's true. We had some pizza, but but I think that's kind of the
I'm talking about an actual planned out date we haven't in a really long time.
But you don't think that even just those small ones even count?
No, I do think they matter. I think they're important. I think we need even that little bit of time that we can get where we're not dealing with the kids or work or our families, whatever. But I do think we could be better about actually planning nights out.
Right. It is particularly harder because obviously it's we have the dog, we have the kids, and in scheduling, and we only let certain people stay with our kids when it comes to overnights and stuff like that. So it's not as if we have this plethora of things to pull from.
No, yeah, and we don't really love asking older girls to babysit them. Even if we go out to dinner, I mean, we will occasionally, right, but it's not I feel I like to let the older kids be kids and not feel they're responsible for their baby sisters.
Right. Which that's a whole big thing right there, the whole maternalizing and
parentalizing.
Yeah, parentalizing. Yeah. Older kids and stuff like that, and then how that almost, you can get into that another time.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole other episode.
Whole other episode. But yeah, no, I mean, because I know, for me, and obviously you can talk about this afterwards too, talk about it from your perspective. For me, it's how much of that I would feel I'm missing that connection from you, that I'm just wow, I'm I haven't seen you. I feel I haven't been with you. It's in even it's just those times, because exactly, there are days where I'm up out of the house early, and then I come home and it's dinner time. Then it's just dinner. We have, it's kind of everyone's having a conversation. Then we're cleaning up. Then it's time to put the kids to bed, and either I do bedtime or you do bedtime. Primarily, you do bedtime most of the times, and things like that. And then, I'm still trying to wrap up whatever it is at work. And then there's times where we'll, probably have about 1 or 2 hours worth of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Face to face. Whereas I know we talk. I know whatever free moment I have, or if I'm in between running from call to call, I call you automatically, and we talk throughout the day. But I mean, as far as like that one-on-one, and so like due to that, like there's times that like I would feel like that, exactly, like I miss you, like those times I miss you, like I just miss being with you and just being just us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like we're lucky if we get an hour some days, right? Because, I'm not the only one that needs your attention and you're not the only one that needs my attention, right? So like the older girls might want to talk to you about something, or, you just feel like you should spend time with them because you want to. And then I'm getting the babies to bed and then I fall asleep because I'm exhausted. I'm an early bedtime, I try to stay up for you, what?
Turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly. Like at one point you actually asked me, like, can you set an alarm so that we can spend time together because you're falling asleep so early. And by the time I come to bed, you've barely spoken all day. Like,
right. Because you went to bed early. I'm like, you already kind of have like a little cat nap in before. I'm like, so you're good. I was like that. And then like, I would basically come in and then like, I would set like an alarm on my phone and like the alarm would go off. I'm like, wrapping up everything. I'm like running upstairs.
Yeah.
Like...
I set my 9:30 p.m. alarm. I like labeled it babe time.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. No. But it's a huge imagination. No, it's I know. But no, exactly. It's like we would have like that time to reconnect because and I know it's like 'cause like in speaking to what I was saying lately, like one thing that we do great is that you communicate how you feel about it, and you're like, well, like there's just days that like I don't talk to an adult all day.
Yeah.
Right. And also like we're each other's best friends. And so it's just, you want to talk to me. I want to talk to you. And I just want to be there and just, just to be us with each other and like, to have that connection, like that physical connection in holding one another and things like that. And kind of being able to talk about the day, talk about what's concerning us in those things. And you would like, just go ahead and just tell me, what happened in your day. Cause it's just like, it like the other day, like, I feel like my day is stressful. Yeah. I think in comparison to yours, it's your day is probably way more stressful in the sense of like all the personalities, all the kids and the driving and like the appointments. And then we have the dog and then it's like maintaining the house and dinner. And then, never mind any other anxieties that you have personally about,
everything.
Yeah. Red dye. No.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if my day is more stressful than yours, but I do think that like, yeah, you're working and yeah, you're driving from call to call, but you're also like speaking to other adults, or like you get to work with the guys, you're joking around, like you're having a good time. Like I'm like literally always with the kids, right? Like I like live for the like 20 minutes that I'm driving back on the days that I drop them both off at school, and I can like listen to part of a podcast that I want to listen to, that's like my like alone time. But then I'm just like immediately into like, okay, what do I need to get done? Like, okay, we don't have bread, I need to make it. Like the kids need snacks, I need to make them. Like, what am I going to make for dinner? Do I need anything for dinner? And like my mom works, my sister works, so it's not like I have anyone who like I'm talking to regularly throughout the day, and then I'm just like back with the kids. So I really, really look forward to like just, even if it's like 20 minutes that we get to talk in bed, like that's like the highlight of my day, because like I really crave that. I need that.
Right. And so like I think that's where it's like, but even that, like that's just like one part of it, right? Like it's like you don't want it to be always just about like, you don't want like, and I know it's like how it is like for me is that like I just don't want all of our time to just be just like that. Like I miss like one thing about us is like I love, and I've always have love, like when we go out, like we always have a blast.
Yeah.
Like you and I together being out, like, love food, like that's our jam, like that's our thing. Like when we were drinking, like it was, going out to dinner, having a great dinner, have some nice cocktails, and like we're all of a sudden we're like friggin' like Gordon Ramsay and like food critics. We're like, oh yeah, like did you try this? Like we're just like we would always order like our number one and number two dish, like and stuff like that, and we'd share and things like that. And for me, that's what I love. Like I love just being with you, and then like if all we're doing is talking about the food, like that's what I love about it. And
yeah, because I do feel like our end of the day, like kind of like where we're just like talking about kind of what happened that day, or like concerns that I might have about the kids. Yeah, like the end of the day. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just like dumping your day.
Pretty much, right? Like getting everything off my chest. Like we're not just talking, like we're talking about things that we need to address, like things with the kids, like concerns that I have or that you have, or we're talking about money or whatever. Like it's not just like fun. I think like when we did have that little Whole Foods date, like that was fun.
It was. And that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like just like those little times that like we've had, and like same thing, like we would go for our walks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like, and like that's something that you always great about. Like, hey, like, do you want to go for a walk? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, maybe we'll grab a cigar. Like, and like we just go for like a cigar walk, or like we just go for a regular walk. But and I think that that's just where it is. It's just like for as much as I love us like doing like the dinners and like tonight, like going out for the night and we got a hotel room and stuff like that. For as much as I love that, I almost like live for the walks.
Yeah.
The Whole Foods dates, like trips to like Walgreens or just something like that, like where it's just like you and I, even perfect example, like even like times when we come down and shoot the podcast.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like times that we're alone in the car together, because it's so rare for that to happen too.
It's so nice, like it really is, that it's just like guy in that sense. It's just like because it's always like the kids.
Yeah, and it's funny, like the girls were asking why we had to go away. The babies, not the girls, and I was explaining to Cammie, like, how our house feels happy and we have so much love, and when me and Daddy hug, that you and Cece come running over and say, "Oh yay, it's hug time," and
nothing.
I know. But I was explaining to her, I'm like, if me and Daddy don't do things like for just each other, like without you guys, then we can stop being happy, and then our house stops feeling like that.
Right, and how it translates into other things. And I think that there's something, it's like it all starts with us. Like it starts with us as like the examples of, and that's what the reality is. Like we're going to be their examples of what a relationship is, what a marriage is, how do you like treat your significant other and stuff like that. And I think that that's something that we really prioritize with one another, is like that love and respect between us. And I know we touched upon it in previous episodes in the sense of that, like, even when we do have difficult times, we always respect one another. And like, there's never a disrespect at all. And it's like, we still maintain the conversations. It's like, we're not like weaponizing our love or affection. Like
yeah, we don't withhold. Like it's just not my thing. Like I don't, like I'm like, what's the point? I still like want to talk to you. So like I feel like if something happened, like I don't know, if like my sister told me something, or like one of our friends or whatever, I'm like, get like, oh, by the way, like guess what happened, because I just want to tell you, like I want to spill the tea with you,
Yeah. I love tea.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like the Spanish to me with the novelas. It's like,
yeah.
It's like,
hey, make your coffee. I have something to tell you.
Get my Bustelo, and I'm like. But it's like,
my point about telling me talking about that with Cammie is like, it's not easy for us to find those little pockets of time alone. It's not. I mean, we have 5 kids. They all have, activities. They have friends. They want our time too. Like I think especially for you, like, because obviously you're not home as much as me, your attention is really divided.
It's tough, and like it definitely is, and like those are the times, and like so. I mean, like it's a good thing that you brought that up because there's one thing that I know that I want to work on is being more. So what I'm looking for, like it's being more disciplined with my time in that sense of that, because there are times like when I am home and but like I'm elsewhere, and you know it, and it's something that I know it upsets you. There's times that you say things, there's times that you don't, but I know that you're like, well, why am I even talking? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I mean, I don't want to say bite my tongue, but like I try to just have grace about it because I know like you're not doing it intentionally.
right.
But, like even the last time we went out for a walk, like I'm like, okay, this is very frustrating because I asked you to come out for a walk with me and you did, but the whole time you were on your phone. Yeah. The whole time you were taking phone calls, like you were, oh, I forgot I have this meeting, like I have to get on it. Like, and I get it, right? Again, I'm not going to say anything to you about it sometimes. When it comes to the kids, it can be frustrating. Like if the babies are trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Or even the older girls sometimes will like have to repeat themselves multiple times. I know you're working on it, which is why I don't like harp on you about it. Yeah. And I also know it's difficult, right? I mean, you're the only guy in our house. You're everybody's favorite person in the house. Everyone wants your attention. And like, I'm a needy person. Like I want attention. So when I'm not getting it, like it does frustrate me,
Yeah. I mean, it was come by with a good old butt squeeze or something like that. But,
yeah, but like that's your love language. That's not mine.
Squeeze.
I want quality time and for you to tell me how awesome I am. Like,
yeah.
You're like, just touch me. I don't
We're simple creatures.
Yeah.
But, you're right. I mean, like, it is like those things that like I constantly always need to kind of think about. Like, I need to kind of keep myself in check about it because, like, you're right. Because, like I'll get home and it's just like literally, it's like my brain will like just tune out. And like literally I can be like in a room full of people and I will just not hear anything. And I'm just so in tune with what it is that's going through my mind at the time. And, but I realize that, it's not prioritizing my time with you guys. And like it's definitely things, I mean, like even on the ride here, it's me calling it out is that I have to be better about scheduling my day. And I think that as you start to become more busy in life, how important prioritizing and not being wasteful with your time, and even like to the sense of scrolling and being on your phone and those interactions with that. Like there's times that like we would go and like as soon as we got into bed, we'd just like we'd hug our phones and we'd just hug. Like we didn't even need to even say anything. We would just. It would basically be like, yeah, like we just need to just be with one another.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like on another podcast that I listen to, he talks all the time about how phones have created like this gap between people. Like you can be sitting in the same room as somebody and be worlds apart, right? Like you are just not paying attention. Like not you, I'm just saying like the general you, right? But I'm like, how are we going to be in bed together? Laying next to each other, like just scrolling on our phones, like
sending each other
memes. Like, well, we could just be talking,
right? And like it's funny because like it's like those are actually videos I remember seeing online too. It's just like it's like like date night with my husband, like, and it just shows them like grabbing like a bowl of popcorn. They just hop up onto the couch and then like they just pull out their phones and like or like they're sitting on one end of the couch and the other person on the other end of the couch and like they're just sending each other memes like. Well, you see that meme essentially, like, yeah, it's like, and I get it, like, for some people, that if that's what works for you, and that's what, and you're happy with that.
Sometimes, like, just being in the same room as someone is like nice. Like I don't mind necessarily if like I'm reading a book and you're, you know, doing something on your phone or you're reading or whatever, and we're just like laying in bed with like our feet entangled, you know.
You got to make sure that your feet are touching.
Make sure the feet are touching, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but I do think there's something to be said for like, yeah, we got to put our devices away. For you, especially, like you're on them all day for work.
I mean,
like you have 2 phones on both of them constantly. It's like you need to.
I do, even for like my own.
That's what I'm saying. Like for your own like sanity and your own well-being, right? Because. And I've brought it up to you, like, sometimes I'm talking to you and you're like texting somebody. You're texting somebody about work, or I'm assuming work, because I don't think you would just like personally text someone if we were in the middle of a conversation. But it's tough, right? Because like I said previously, I'm someone who does need a lot of attention, and I know I don't always bring up things to you at the most opportune times. It's something that I've like been trying to be better about, like when you're working from home, meaning.
Oh, right.
Like that, I'm like, I know you're working, but I'm like, I got to tell you something, or like, this is on my mind. I want to talk about it right now. And I know you're like struggling to like, I gotta work.
That is the thing. Cause like I'll never say no to you.
I know.
I'll never say no to you, and that is definitely something that like I get like that awkwardness, and so like therefore like I'll do like the look at this over there, and I'm there like, oh, I gotta get this thing done. Sorry, like and it is like one of those things that is tough because like I get it, like I completely get it, and it's like this dance and this that we have to do with one another in that sense. But like I think having understanding and grace for one another is definitely a reasons why I think that it doesn't turn into like or escalate into like a fight or something like that. Like whereas I think like with some people it probably would.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like, well, I'm trying to talk to you and I need to talk to you right now, and you're like, well, I'm trying to work, and then it's just like it turns into like no one really understanding or hearing one another. It's just a battle, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like it's definitely like a lot of like give and take in kind of working with one another in that sense, right?
I think so, because I just try to be like, no, you know what, like let's just talk about it later, because I know you're working, and even though I feel like I might feel like a little stung in that moment, because like I do want your attention, I also understand that like you have other things that like you need to work on. It's like a tough thing, right? Because you're working from home, but it's your business. Like, I wonder if like you were working from home, but it was like, you know, like my brother-in-law works from home, but it's for another company. So
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think that because
like I'm the boss, I could essentially like I'm creating my own schedule. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can take the time to talk to me right now. Where like if you were working a 9 to 5 from home for somebody else, I don't think I would bother you.
A reaction that that's true.
Yeah,
you are my boss. I mean, he's like, well, I won't be mad at you for this. You know, it's one of those. Don't worry, I'll talk to the boss. He says it's okay. Hey, you know, I never thought. Yeah. That's actually that's probably what exactly that it is that makes it like that. But I think that, you know, with all that being said, I think it's so important that, you know, like even tonight, like it's just something for us. Like it's just, you know, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. It's just one night. But it's because we prioritize. It's like, it's something that I think it's the fact that we both articulated to one another, hey, like I just need to be with you alone.
Yeah.
And it just needs to just be us. And what's funny was that we're like, well, what do you want to do? It was just like, honestly, it's like, I'm okay with just being like in the hotel room, ordering room service, and just like not doing a thing. And it's just like, and you know, we both say to one another, like, that whole thing, it's just like, I don't care whatever we do as long as we're with each other. Like,
yeah, I know. Such losers.
Yeah. Big time.
But yeah, no, like I'm like, you want to go out to dinner? I don't know. Like, I guess we'll kind of call it when we when we got there, see how we feel.
Yeah, right. See how we feel about it, stuff like that. 'Cause I think ultimately it's just like we just love being with one another. It's just like,
And we don't get the opportunity to be alone very often.
Just to
like
be alone,
said,
and just being quiet. How about that? Just quiet.
Yeah, like, not having to worry about anyone walking in.
Oh my God. God forbid, like you come up the stairs, freaking there in hot pursuit. Boom, boot the door open, like, and it's just like, and it's just like, oh, what are you guys doing? Don't worry about it.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. But yeah, like just be able to relax. Like I don't have to cook for anybody. Like
That's massive too.
You don't have to clean up, like because obviously that's a big thing. Like I like the downstairs needs to be clean, like before everybody goes to bed. So like that takes time. It's just. There's so much that goes into that goes into both of our days,
Right.
That makes it difficult for us to have that alone time. One thing I think we're good about is like, it's so funny because like everyone will always ask us like, oh, have you seen this TV show? Like, have you seen this TV show? And we're like not even trying to sound like better than anyone at all, but I'm like, we barely watch TV because when we would be watching something, that's like the time that we normally take every night to like be together.
Right. And but there are like those nights that you would say to me, you're like, oh, like, hey, like you want to watch a show with me?
Let's watch a movie or something.
Let's watch a movie and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, honestly, when we were in Denver, like my favorite days that we were there were when we ordered room service after the conference and binge watched Friday Night Lights. Like, that was literally the best. We ate in bed. We ordered that pineapple creme brulee twice because it was so good.
I know. You again.
I kept calling down. I'm like, can I get another one of those? So embarrassing.
Yeah. I know. Like, it's like the most gluttonous thing that we do. Like we just like sleeping in our bed and just like
we ate in bed,
eating creme brulee, watching Friday Night Lights on an iPad.
No, we watched it on the TV.
Yeah, it was on the TV.
We finished it on the iPad, on the plane ride.
On the plane, that's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But I do think like those were like my favorite days that we were there. And like we obviously went out to dinner like a couple of times when we were there too. We attempted to go to a concert. But
yeah, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like what's funny was that it also reminded me of like the other time is like an understanding and hearing your partner in that sense is that like I'll never forget like that time that I woke up early. And the thing is, it's so hard for us. Like I said, it's like our alone time is so hard because of like, if we're not near the babies are immediately like, well, where are they? What are they doing? What and stuff like that. So it's like, I'll never forget. One time I woke up early and I walked over to, like, I snuck out, like, from like Selena. I walked over to you. I'm like, do you want to go downstairs, have coffee and watch Friday Night Lights? Like,
if you can't tell, Friday Night Lights is like my comfort show. I've watched it like 5 times over, and then I finally introduced you to it last year and got you addicted to
Coach Taylor.
Coach and Tim, Texas forever.
Texas forever, yeah. But yeah, no, I did. It was, but you're absolutely right. Like it was.
I loved that when you did that, when you woke me up and you were like, let's go have coffee and watch Friday Night Lights. And we got in like probably an episode before the babies woke up, but it was like so nice just getting to spend that quiet time with you.
Right, like your eyes like lit up, like you were like, what? Like, and it was like, and that's like where I realized it doesn't take a big fancy dinner. It doesn't take, all this elaborate planning. I think it just like takes prioritizing your time and knowing that it's like being with you, like that's that recharge for us and for me. Like being with you, it's like that's where I gain my strength from. That's where I continue to go on and do the things I do that push me forward, that push me harder, is being with you.
Yeah, like a little battery recharge.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Because like, I mean, like I've said it countless times on this podcast is that, I could not do what I do every day if it wasn't for you. And so like, it's things that I realized that for me, even for me and our success and my success and our success as a family, and as we push forward, like how much of it is from you that like I need to feel that love and support from you, like and I need to feel that we're solid, like in that, like, you know, feeling like that strength of our love in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Those things that matter are like everything to me, and it's just like, and if there's time that goes, like, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, like for us, it's like if we're like 2 or 3 days, do you know what I'm saying? Of you know, where we're just so busy,
Yeah.
we're just like, so what's up? Like, what, you just like don't love me anymore? Like,
I know. You're the worst.
like, well, like, I think it's like, well, let me like say, like if we're not constantly just having like that alone time with one another, just for like a little bit, like in the day, we're like, so about like,
You even love me.
you didn't love me. You didn't even love me. You didn't even like what do you even do for me? Like, we're just like, and like, obviously it was like, it's a joke for us, but it's just kind of like that saying of
We're
like,
just super aware of it, I think. Like, we try not to let it get too far. I think that's what it is, right? Because when we don't have those connection points, like say over like 2 or 3 days, like if we're not having sex, if we're not like just having that alone time, it's noticeable. Like, I'll always say like, oh, like you're a little bit like snippier than usual because like we haven't been spending any time alone. And like, I don't think it's noticeable to anybody else, but it's noticeable to me. And I
the guys might notice it. The guys are probably like, dick.
yeah, probably.
Backed up. No,
but I think for us, like, we're just really cognizant of making sure that we do get that alone time together because it does affect everything in our house, you know?
Yeah, it's just, you know, and that's like a big thing too. Like, I mean, like when we like, for on that subject, right? In the sense of that, like, you know, as men, that's how we connect.
Yeah, your love language is physical touch. Like,
our love, most men, we're very simple creatures in that sense, is that like our love language is physical touch, but that's also the way in how we connect with you, with our wives in that like deep rooted feel, like it's physical. It's a physical connection for us. Like,
yeah.
it goes right to us, and like, people just don't understand like just how simple it is.
Yeah, I know.
I've told you this like since the beginning. I'm like, men are more emotional than women are. Like,
for sure.
We require more attention. We require more, like, we require that because that's where we get our story. Because like, we're just, and it's like the same thing. Like, you and I have had the conversation about like cats and dogs. Like,
I was just about to say, guys are dogs and women are cats. Like, we'd be fine on our own. Like, you guys need like love and attention,
we
and
need a job. Like, we need to have a job. Like, we need to fulfill a role, and then like we just job's done. Like, oh, what's next? Like, it's literally that simple. And, you know, but like in the same token, like, as much as it matters to me, it also matters to you too.
No, it definitely matters to me, like, for sure. Because I'm probably more like, if it's been 2 days that I'm like, what's going on? Like, you don't even want to be with me anymore.
Who is she? You know, like, I'm like, what?
Okay,
what?
I did never say that.
I know you don't, but I mean, it's just like,
yeah,
you're like,
I know.
who is she? You know, like, no, she never says that, but that's how it feels. Cause you're like, so what's going on?
No, I just think it's something that's important to us. Like, obviously, we always joke because we track it. Because I was just telling one of my cousins this, actually. But because we were at a party that time, and one of my uncles said that he read that, like, the majority...
No, it was a story about, like, Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, originally. Like, how many women he had slept with.
Right.
And then
it went into this.
Yeah, it delved into research that, like, most married couples have sex once a week. And he was saying, oh, that seems like a lot. And I was like, does it? Like, and then you were convinced like that, like, you're like, I don't know, like maybe that's how much we have sex, like whatever. And I'm like, I don't think so. So we've been tracking it for like 2 years.
Yeah. I remember like, remember the first year that we unveiled the tracking, and then like Steve.
Yeah, our neighbor was like, well, fuck you guys too.
Steve was
Like, whatever, Steve, you're a lot older than us.
oh my God. He lost his shit. He was so mad on that. I fucking love that guy.
Oh, he's the best.
But it was just so funny. He's like, you know, I thought I hated you before. Now I fucking really hate you. But no,
but we do track it. I don't know. I kind of think it's like important. It keeps the conversation open, right? Like you can look and be like, oh, geez, like what's going on? Like what was going on like this month? You know, like why were we not?
Well, you can see the kind of like any. You can draw a correlation to it. Like you'd be like, you're like, well, we had this tough time, and I think. It's like, it's almost like an Excel, like we're not saying like we have like an Excel spreadsheet that like it's like broken down, but there's times we've had conversations that I'm wondering like, she's like,
you asked me the other night, what are you going to start in an Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, it's just going to be like a peanut for a certain one. It's a green check, it's a peanut, it's this, that, the other thing, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, but, you know, but like, it's just so funny, like, but I think it's like from like an analytical standpoint in the sense of that, like, in how, I guess it's like how we can address an issue, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about it, when we look at it, so we're looking at, all right, this is how we were in January, this is how we were in February.
Yeah, like
March was, like, it's like something like that.
Yeah.
You know, we can basically, yeah, I think it definitely does help.
It does. It was like, oh, the kids were sick. Like, I had the stomach bug. Then you got the stomach bug. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
awful time.
Yeah. And it happens every February if someone in the family gets the stomach bug. And if you look, like, that's like consistently like the lowest month, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's just interesting to see. I think it keeps the conversation between us open. And also, I feel like
we make it a game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, well, you know,
we got to rally.
Yeah. I'm like, it's the 5th and we've only, you know, done it this many times. Like, if we want to keep our average up, like, gotta get it going.
Like, I'm no fucking quitter. Like, I'm a winner. I'm beating last year's record. Like, I was just like, let's go.
Yeah, that's the game every year. I see if you can beat last year's record. We've done it so far every year. Last year I gave you the total and you were like, oh, that's not even that much. And then we looked up like the average amount, and it
for like a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And we're we've left.
Not doing too bad for 37-year-olds.
No, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, like I mean, like, in average, there's definitely more now than there was when I was 21.
Yeah, well,
you know, you're welcome.
Right, like, you're with one, yeah, you're with one woman who sleeps in your bed every night. No, but obviously, like
being married.
Yeah. Exactly. Obviously, like, that's just something that's important to us. I think people ask all the time, like, you know, what do you guys do? Like, that keeps you guys, like, having a happy marriage. And that's obviously a big part of it for us.
It is. It definitely is. And like I said, I think it's because, like, we've, you know, it's actually funny. Like, I think, like, definitely since tracking it's gone up, way up.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's because it's like a game now, like, and it's fun, and like we'll joke about it, and
I think that's part of it, right? Because I think so many people, once they get married or into serious relationships, like, everything is so serious, like they stop having fun with each other,
right? And then, like, now thinking about it, it's like, when that happens, especially kids, time goes by so fast.
Yeah.
And so if you're not keeping track, next thing you know, it's like, it can be months.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, when was the last time I had sex?
It's so true, because think of, like, we're so busy. We are so busy. Like
I'm just like, we're really thinking about that. I'm like, wow, it's actually a great thing that we do track it, like, in how it just started as like a joke.
Yeah, it was just a joke, just kind of.
It was a joke,
like,
and like, but now thinking about it, like, it's like, this is the first time that we've actually really talked about it.
Yeah.
And I'll be totally honest, I didn't know if we were gonna go into this conversation today, but I was like,
I mean, it's part of, like,
I saw you lead, I was just like, all right, I guess we're gonna go. But, you know, I you know, in talking about it out loud, I'm like, you know what, like, that's probably the biggest issues that it is. It's just like, life is so busy. Like think about it. Like I talk to all my friends, like I don't even know what day it is. Right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't half the time because I don't work, right? So I'm like, oh God, like I have no idea. Like I have my big giant calendar with all the shit that we have to do on it. And like sex can just become like, oh, whatever, like just add it to the list. Like we'll just do it again another night, like whatever. And then like you said, next thing you know, it's been weeks, then it's been months, and then you're like really missing that.
Right. And then obviously it's like even with the married couple, sex is sometimes like that conversation that people are just like don't feel. The other thing is too, it's like the whole cliches everyone feels like resigned to. It's like, oh well, you know, like of course she's doing that now. Like she's still interviewing because like you're not like we're not married or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like of course she's still gonna do that for you. Yeah,
right. Exactly. Well, of course you're doing it that much. It's like wait till you guys get married.
Yeah,
and goes way downhill.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. I'm like, speak for yourself. I'm like,
well, I think a lot of it is like if you read about it and research into it a little bit, like it's just that like sex for guys is just sex, like it's for women, it's like, you know, if the kids were sick that day, that makes them, you know, not in the mood. If the dishwasher didn't get unloaded, like that makes them not in the mood. Like there's like a series of like stops and starts where like you could literally have been like hospitalized earlier in the day and still come home and want to have sex. Like, but for women, it's like, oh, like this. Like there's just a lot that goes into it. So I think like you do a good job of like helping me,
right,
like around the house or like with the kids and like taking stuff off my plate. So obviously that makes me like more willing or more wanting to actually have sex.
Well, right. Because like for me, it's like, you're absolutely right. Like I could have a collapsed lung and I'm like, we're getting this done. If I die, this is the way I want to go out. Like it's as simple as that. Like if I run out of air, that's fine. And like, and that's kind of like, but then, you know, exactly. I think that's another thing too. It's just like, I think so much in me prioritizing or me helping you. And it just also just makes you that feeling of being seen.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and it's just like, yeah, like he sees like that I've had a tough day and he's just saying like, hey, like, you know, babe, like, just go upstairs, just go lay down. I got this. Like, or hey, like, you know what? I'm going to do bedtime. Like, just go start reading your book and go start unwinding. It's like, and just in like those little small like understandings and seeing like your significant other and like and understanding them, it's just kind of like, yeah, like he loves me. Like he wants to help me. Like he wants me to be this and be like that. Like, cause it's just so tough. Right. And it's just like,
yeah, I mean, there's just so much on my plate, you know,
right.
And most women, right? Like, you know, we could probably do a whole episode on like the mental load, just like, it's not just keeping the house clean. Like, it's also like, oh, I'm planning the baby's birthday party. Like, oh, I'm, you know, Carly's Sweet 16. Oh, they have doctor's appointments. Oh, they have dentist appointments. Oh, like, what about the food they're eating? Like, oh, what about, you know, there's
right.
so much. And, you know, most of us keep track of like your stuff too, right? Like, I got to make sure you have clean clothes for work. Like, when do you have appointments? Like, when are you going out with the guys? Like, when are you know what I mean?
There's times I'm even calling you up. I'm like, hey, like just the other day, I'm like, hey, I forgot the bandsaw at home. Like, can you run this out to me during a snowstorm? And you did. Like,
yeah.
And it was like one of those things, but right. But it's just like, in how, you know, it makes your day difficult too, because obviously now you're just trying to help me out. But then you also have things to do, and like now it's just like, all right, what do I need to move around to add this in because he needs it in order to keep him rocking, and stuff like that. Like
right, and so sometimes by the end of the day, right, like if I've done all that and you have not like either said something to me or helped me in some way, like I can see how for people it would just be like, I mean, how can you expect me to add something else to my plate right now?
Right.
And like, not that that's the way that you should look at sex, but I can see how it can become that way.
Well, it's kind of like, I did this for you, and like if I do this again, this is me doing it for you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, not because I'm wanting to, it's because like you want me to do something and I've been doing stuff for you and for the kids all day.
What have you done for me?
Yeah.
Right?
What have you done for me?
I scratch your back all day.
Yeah.
And you're not scratching mine. Yeah. Makes complete sense. I mean, like, and that's the thing is, like, I did that. Those are things like where you have to, us as men, like, we have to just like also like you can't, you just can't be like that either. Like,
Well, right, because that's something else I was just gonna say. Like, I think a lot of people, like, just to go back to like not having fun together and stuff like that anymore, like you stop like pursuing each other, like you stop flirting with each other, right? And so then, you get into bed and your husband wants to have sex, and it's like you haven't even like kissed me today or like held my hand. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no there's like you're just expecting this to happen like with no lead up to it whatsoever,
Right. It was just funny. It's like when you said that, it just reminded me of like Steve's story the other day. We talked about ours, and then and then he's like saying to Melly, he was like, hey, see, look at this. I'm being nice to you, and I'm being romantic and stuff like that, and I get nope, and then like he starts pouting and stuff like that, and then it's like, but then you start telling the story, and Kyle's like, well, you want to bang? You're like, all right, and he was like, no, I fucking hate you even more. Like he's like, it was just so funny, but like. I just had to laugh because he's such an animated guy. So
yeah, but like when you ask me like that, like to me, it's like not just like that one window of opportunity that you're asking. Like we
right.
we have had like a buildup of like doing nice things for each other, or like we've been, you know what I mean? Like
right.
it's not just like you haven't helped me for weeks, or you haven't.
I'm just saying,
man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely not that. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm like the most like unromantic guy in the world. I'm just like going to my wife like, "Oh, you want to get one other?" No, it's like I'm very.
You're romantic.
I'm a Casanova.
You're more romantic. Yeah, you're more romantic than I even need sometimes.
It's true, but like it's. But yeah, no. I mean, like, you're absolutely right. Like, I think, but I think it's just like because like it is like such a fun thing for us, right? Yeah. Like, it's definitely something that like, and like this time that you said that to me too. Like, you're just like, oh, what's going on? Like, you want to just like, like
my code help me with the laundry.
Yes, help me with the.
I hope the kids aren't listening to this because then they're gonna know my secret code.
No, well, they're just never look at laundry the same anymore.
Yeah, I know.
But they just like she'll leave a like.
I leave a basket downstairs and say, "Oh, can you bring that upstairs for me?" And then he knows.
Oh yeah. That basket flies up those stairs. Yeah. Okay, I'm like double stacking it, but but I think it's like, but it's just so important because like, even like we'll just carve out like. This thing is like I don't need a lot of time. Like it's
yeah,
we always make that joke. He's like, oh, you think we have enough time? I'm like,
who needs time?
Who needs time? Who needs foreplay? No, but it's like one of those things. It's just like if we know that our windows are very short, like I think it's like we do like if we know we have like 10 minutes or like something like that, I'd be like like you know what, like because if honestly it's not that's something that we always opt for. But if it's been a few days and we're just like, all right, like
we just need like a connection point,
quick reconnect. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like boom, like let's kind of realign real fast, like in a different way, because like we're always in alignment. It's a matter of like just like that spiritual, like I almost feel like it's spiritual between us,
like it's like intimacy, right? Like I think we have a very deep intimacy between us. Like we're very connected.
Oh, super connected.
Right? But sometimes like you just need like that physical connection.
Right. Yeah, right, literally. Like,
yeah.
Just like that. But yeah, no, I tell you, like it's definitely like those it's kind of like an all encompassing thing. It's just like and if people only understood that, even like men, if we just understood and we did better jobs of like just supporting our wives, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like you're always good even for like like you look so beautiful or whatever, when I definitely like look like Adam Sandler and don't look beautiful. Yeah.
So your hair looks awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, you just let it air dry. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, it's because I showered for the first time in 4 years.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, you look good, smell good,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's the same thing. But right. But I mean, like it's like all like those like little things. It's just like just noticing your partner, like noticing your wife, and just like exactly. Notice if she took a shower. Like oh, he put deodorant on today. Nice.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or like like those pants,
Right.
like those pants. Like I remember like you used to struggle with those. Like you look great in them and stuff like that. And then like you're like yeah, like it's like I lost like this that like it's all like those little small like little things. Just noticing.
Yeah, I think it's just the little things in general, right? Like we can kind of wrap it up like that, like little Whole Foods dates, like little 10 minutes before bed to talk, like whatever, like just finding the time to
Small wins.
Yeah, the small wins.